Every year we get into this time, people think they can just miraculously change their entire lives overnight. But unfortunately, this almost never works. Especially as students, our lives are already so busy with so many high priority tasks that just making a change in our lives is difficult unless you structure it correctly. My name is Trenton Sandler. I'm a student athlete at Louisiana State University, and here are a lot of things that I've learned recently. See, the problem with New Year's resolutions is just that. They're called resolutions. People try to predict the end of their year at the very start. And as students, we're getting curveballs thrown at us left and right, so this is near impossible. But don't get me wrong, New Year's resolutions are still great. It's just that in this time of our lives, it's more important that we structure them correctly so they can take us much further than just 1 year. So without further ado, here are 6.5 New Year's resolutions that never work and how you can fix them. Okay, starting off with number 1, people say, I will get all A's. And the problem with this one is just don't attach a resolution to something external. It's easy to get off track early and throw the entire resolution out the window. Imagine you walk into biology and you have a mediocre couple of weeks and then you bomb the first test. It's easy to say, well, I'm not gonna get all A's, so none of the rest of the semester matters because you set such an external resolution of I will get all A's. Instead, a resolution should be habitual and continuous, something that you can fail today and then still get correct tomorrow. So in place of saying, I will get all A's, how about you say, I'll study for 15 minutes a day? Which brings us to the next resolution of, I will study, which also won't work because you don't know how to study. I'm sure that I was similar to many other people watching this video in that in high school, you really just showed up to class, did the homework, took the tests, and didn't ever actually study. So last year for me, college was a rude awakening. My very first ever biology class, and yes, I'm using biology a lot as an example, but my very first ever biology class, I got like a 50 on my first exam. I spent the entire rest of the semester trying to claw back from that, and then second semester, I decided I needed a change. So I read the book Atomic Habits, which I could not recommend more, and I learned about habit stacking. Habit stacking basically meant take something that's foundational in your life, like I went to lunch every day around 1 o'clock, and attach a habit to that. So I would do 15 minutes of studying every day when I got back from lunch, and it taught me the habit of studying. This semester, although I don't study every single day, I've mastered these short sprints, and eventually during exam season, I'm able to do multiple of these every day for each class, and this semester I was able to finish with over a 4.0. All right, resolution number 3, I will exercise. No, you won't. It's the same thing every year. People try to do too much too soon. I see all these people thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a trainer and they're gonna help me exercise. Don't get me wrong, I'm a kinesiology major, so I support this athletic training, physical training to the max. But a trainer doesn't teach you to exercise, they teach you to exercise correctly. This means that you need to build the commitment first. It's the same trend every single year. People try to take on too much too quickly. They jump straight to, I'm gonna work with this guy for 1 hour every single day, 7 days a week. And that just doesn't work. And that's just unrealistic for someone who doesn't exercise at all. They get burnt out. Instead, focus on building the habit of exercising and just doing a little bit a couple days a week and then building up to the point where you're exercising for longer periods of time. But if you are serious about trying to exercise more, make sure you only focus on exercising more because you cannot change everything at once. Like if you're trying to tackle exercise, maybe try to figure that out completely before you move on to nutrition. And don't ever just say, I will eat healthy, which is actually our 4th resolution. And this one won't work just because it's too broad. A New Year's resolution needs to be specific and attainable, just like when you heard your teacher telling you about SMART goals. 1, you need to make sure that it's realistic. And as a student, sometimes getting healthy foods is difficult, but there's a ton of videos out there that you can find on how to cook better as a student. Maybe setting a goal for nutrition looks like, I will eat fruit at 2 meals a day, or I will start tracking my macros so that I understand more what's in food and I can change the root habits of what I eat. These are more specific than just I will eat healthy. Another topic that's often far too broad is having financial success. A lot of people pick the resolution, which is our 5th one on the day, of I will save money. And this was another great example of something that's just not specific enough to make work. Even if you set a savings goal, that's falling back into that same category of if you get off to a slow start, it's hard to pick it back up. You can't just say, this year I'm gonna save $10,000 and then in January you only got $50 to your name and throw the whole goal out the window. You have to set up systems to get you there. Think about in class, you go to class every single day, you don't just take exams. You build up this practice of I go to class, and you need to do that same thing with I save money. You can't just one day pocket $10,000 and say I saved $10,000 unless you win the lottery or something. Where are you gonna get that from? Instead, maybe say I'm gonna stop buying a $7 coffee 4 days a week and put that money in your savings account. Or invest it so that it works for you when you're not doing anything. It's very helpful to pick a goal like this that's not just a simple pass-fail on the entire year. The coffee example, for instance, resets every single day. If you go on Monday and buy yourself a really nice coffee, you can still achieve your goal of not buying that coffee on Tuesday. And you're better off than you were the week before when you bought coffee every single day. If you buy it one day, you didn't just fail the whole year. You can try again the next. Okay, now kind of switching gears, our sixth resolution is one that's just really difficult to make work in general, and that's I will travel more. And this one's tough for just anyone to up and do. I mean, where are you gonna get the funds? As a student, where are you gonna get the time? Can't just miss class every single day. If this is truly a goal that you have, maybe set the resolution as something that allows you to travel more in the future. Like for example, maybe start crafting this spring and also summer semester to plan for doing a fall semester abroad at the end of the year. Or start a new savings which gives you a little extra cash to go to your flight overseas. You could even try to stumble into a job, or better yet, an internship, something that builds your resume that will pay for your flights and allow you to travel while being paid. But just saying, I want to travel more is a failed resolution waiting to happen. And the last one that we see all the time is I will wake up earlier. And look, this one could actually work, but it is only half the battle. To actually make this a full resolution, you need to also be going to sleep earlier. Plenty of people glamorize this 5 a.m. wake up morning routine schedule, but it's just not maintainable without also going to sleep earlier. And getting yourself to sleep earlier means shifting the ways you spend your nights, which leads us back to our main theme of habits. Many New Year's resolutions are just unrealistic. People try to do too much too soon, or they're not specific enough in their goals to actually achieve them. They rely heavily on motivation, whereas discipline is what will really take you a long ways. Something we discuss a lot in athletics. But honestly, discipline isn't even really discipline. On that same book, Atomic Habits, discipline was defined as just being proactively lazy. Like set your book on your bed so that you read later before you go to sleep. Or put your running shoes out by the door so that you wake up and it's easier to go on your morning run. You're just eliminating all the friction in your path of being disciplined to make it easy, or being proactively lazy. You need to eliminate the reliance on not only motivation, but also discipline to really make lasting changes in your life. Okay, so ultimately our goals are nothing without the systems that help us achieve them. We should spend this New Year's instead trying to set up habits that will take us through not just the year, but our whole lives. And you will find yourself much better off come December. Rather than striving for just an unrealistic goal, you have a roadmap to get you there. If you're looking to grow and change as a student and really make the most of your college years, make sure that you subscribe to Declassified, check us out on other platforms, and yeah, let's have a great year.